Have you ever found yourself just staring at two options? One that's cheap right now and one that's built to last, and you just feel completely stuck? It happens to everybody, from big-time CEOs to just someone buying a new car. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful financial tool that can cut right through all that confusion and give you a crystal clear answer. Let's get into it.
I mean, really think about it. You need some new equipment. Option A is definitely easier on the wallet today, but you know you're going to have to replace it in just a few years. Option B costs more. Yeah, but it's built like a tank. It feels like you're just guessing, right? This is the exact kind of puzzle that can totally paralyze decision-making. But there's a surprisingly elegant way to find the right answer.
So the real headache here is trying to compare these two things that just don't last the same amount of time. It's kind of like an unfair fight. To see exactly how we can level that playing field, let's look at a real-world example.
Okay, meet Jerry. He owns a really popular local spot called Heavenly Pizza, and he's got a great idea. He wants to install 5 new in-car navigation and ordering systems to make his deliveries way faster and more accurate. I mean, this should mean happier customers and, you'd hope, more money coming in. The big question is, will this investment actually pay for itself?
And here is where we hit that fundamental challenge. Let's say Jerry's new system lasts for 5 years, but he's also looking at another potential investment that might last for 10. A simple cost comparison just doesn't work. You can't just look at the total profit over their completely different lives. It's that classic apples to oranges problem. You've got to find a way to put everything on a level playing field. And that level playing field, that is exactly what the annual worth method gives us. Honestly, you can think of it as a financial superpower that lets you see the true year-by-year value of any investment. So how in the world does it work? Well, imagine taking all the messy finances of a big project, the huge upfront cost, the little yearly expenses, even the money you might get back at the very end, and melting it all down into one simple number, what it's worth per year. That's annual worth.
So why is this so powerful? Well, it takes what can be a really tangled mess of numbers, and it just transforms it into a clear annual dollar figure. This makes it incredibly easy for anyone, whether you're an engineer or a small business owner like Jerry, to really understand the true value of a project. It's why so many pros consider it the absolute gold standard for this kind of evaluation.
So how does this calculation actually work under the hood? It's really powered by 2 key components that, when you put them together, give us that magic annual number. Let's break them down. The formula itself looks pretty straightforward, right? The annual worth, or AW, is just the capital recovery plus the annual amount. But what do those 2 terms, CR and A, actually mean? Okay, first up is capital recovery, or CR. You can basically think of this as the annual cost of owning the thing you bought. It takes that big, scary sticker price from day one, and it just spreads it out evenly over all the years you'll own it, while also taking into account any money you might get back when you sell it later. It's the true yearly cost of your investment. Now, the second piece, the annual amount, or A, is way, way simpler. This is just the net of all the other cash that flows in and out each year. We're talking about your regular operating costs like maintenance and, most importantly, any new income the project is supposed to generate. So it's basically your year-to-year profit or loss. Okay, theory is great and all, but let's make this real. We're going to take what we've just learned and apply it directly to Jerry's dilemma at Heavenly Pizza and see if his plan to buy those new systems is actually a smart move. Okay, here it is. All of Jerry's numbers in one place. You can see the initial investment, the annual costs for stuff like maintenance, and his best guess for new income, an extra $6,000 a year. But look, the most important number on here might be that MARR, the minimum acceptable rate of return. That's his personal goal. He won't do the project unless he's confident he can make at least a 10% return on his money. So, the crucial point here is the initial hit to his bank account. We're talking 5 systems at $4,600 each. That means he has to spend $23,000 today. For a small business, that is a serious chunk of change. So, after we plug all of Jerry's numbers into our annual worth formula, combining the annual cost of that $23,000 investment with his estimated yearly profits and losses, we get this final number. The annual worth of this project is negative $1,003. And this just brilliantly shows how clear the AW method is. The rule couldn't be simpler. If the annual worth is 0 or positive, the project meets your goal. If it's negative, it doesn't. So, at an estimated income of $6,000 a year, this project is just not financially justified for Jerry. He won't make his target 10% return.
But that is not the end of the story. Knowing the project is a no right now is useful, sure, but what's even more useful is figuring out what it would take to make it a yes. This is where the analysis gets really, really powerful.
So now we can ask a much smarter question. Jerry's guess of $6,000 in new income wasn't enough. Okay, so what is the magic number? How much new income does he actually need to generate each year to hit that 10% return target and make this whole thing worth it?
And the best part is, we don't have to guess. There's a really simple tool in most spreadsheet programs. It's called GoalSeek. We can just tell it, hey, find the level of annual income that makes our annual worth exactly 0. That's our break-even point. And the computer just crunches the numbers for us. It's that easy.
And boom, there's the answer. GoalSeek tells us that Jerry needs to generate $7,003 in new income per year. Now he has a clear, actionable target. He can look at his business and ask a much better question. Is it realistic for these new systems to boost my income by just over $7,000 a year? The decision is no longer a guess, it's a calculated risk.
So, if you take one thing away from all this, let it be this. Annual worth analysis is a tool for clarity. It takes a messy, complicated, multi-year financial puzzle and boils it down to a single, clear number that tells you if you're on the right track. And, this doesn't just apply to business. Think about your own life for a second. Buying a car, renovating your home, even choosing a college degree. They all have big upfront costs, ongoing expenses, and long-term value. So the next time you face a really big decision, just ask yourself, what's the real annual worth?